Good morning, and it's a wonderful morning. Look, y'all, we got some sunshine. The rain has passed. Gotta love the change of weather and the season. At least I do, which is one of the main reasons why I moved to New England. I used to live in Arizona and beautiful sunny California. But the sunshine got a little bit old for me, and the heat got a little bit old for me. And I know if you're somewhere shoveling snow and there are times when it gets cold, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Why in the world did I move here? But I did because I missed the change of season. I guess I kind of needed to feel good. And the beautiful part about change of season only lasts so long. So if it's super hot, it will go away. If it's super cold, it will go away. Things will change, things will shift, and that brings me to the whole concept and conversation about things will change and shift, even when it comes to the investing, economics, finance, the whole 9 yards. And I've been doing a lot of research and studying about where we are in the markets, and not just real estate market, but I'm talking like where we are in the marketplace when it comes to economy and kind of what's happening. And, there's this whole virus thing happening, which is causing some problems for folks economically, in transportation, obviously in health, and unfortunately also in some discriminatory services. Let's just put it that way. And what I mean by that is, unfortunately, while the virus kind of came out of a particular country, and I think we all know where it came from, for some reason we need somebody to blame and throw the stones at. And unfortunately, people have been doing that to individuals coming from China. And because in our Western culture, it's hard for us often to tell whether somebody from Asia is from actually China or Taiwan or Malaysia or something like that. We just deem them all Chinese, and as such, people have been behaving in very bad ways. And my hope is that maybe by posting this, that we will collectively share the news to say, please stop that. It's ridiculous, and it's absolutely ridiculous to blame a person for something that might have transpired that honestly, truthfully, has nothing to do with them. But my biggest thing of what I wanted to come in and talk to you about is, with some of these viruses and some of these things that are a lot of uncertainties, how do we best position ourselves financially, and of course emotionally as well, to handle rough times. Having something like coronavirus hit us is very much a black swan event, as they call it. And black swan event is basically an event that nobody could see coming, right? We can all guess that some sort of pandemic could come, right? I mean, there's billions of people on the planet, and we're all traveling all over the place, and access to clean food and water and air and that kind of stuff and medicine varies drastically from place to place. And unfortunately, in some places, the economics of it also are prohibitive of being able to take care of ourselves. And so, while we can predict that some of those things have a good chance of coming our way, it's really impossible to be able to predict what exactly is going to come and how it's going to come, in what way it's going to show up. And so, whether it's something that is health related, whether it's something that is economically related, that, a change of leadership or a change of trade or a change of banking sector or agreement or whatever, all of those things have an ability to do a lot of potential damage to us if we don't plan correctly and prepare for it. And so I wanted to do a brief segment of the importance of, for me, I do talk very eagerly about investing in real estate, because I do believe that it is one of the best assets that we are given to be able to not just generate wealth, but also to preserve it. However, there are other forces that are happening upon us, as I have mentioned, some health, some economics, some, change in leadership. but also demographic. And I have already done a post about where I talked a bit about sort of that change in demographic and how, millions of homes will be coming up for sale, because when we all age and when we pass, we can't take those things with us. And so it's natural that these things will change hand. With that in mind, I think it's important to plan correctly and accurately for the change in this sort of season of what will happen. And when going out to buy, excuse me, when going out to buy, it is really important to look at demographics and where people are moving to, where jobs are moving to. And I think most people already know that because, even if you haven't listened to me talk about it logically, right, it makes sense. Why would you want to buy somewhere where nobody wants to go? So, but again, it also depends on your strategy. Are you looking to have a rental or a flip? Or are you looking for a beautiful resort where people want to escape to? Are you looking for affordable housing? Or are you looking for a sort of the top of the line luxury housing options? All of those things play into our strategic investing, right, into our investing strategy. That goes that with the real estate investing, and I think that can be investing in in equities and bonds as well. But the other thing that I also wanted to talk about that I don't often talk about, yet it is a strategy that I use, and in a video that I have done where I when I was in Spain, where I talked about the deal kind of falling through and how to deal with that stuff. I have shared with you that I am a bit diversified in a few different things. Equities are just sort of there because I've been there, so it's like I don't know, I'm not doing much with it. They are going up, but in my opinion, looking at it, it's quite unsustainable. And so I can't even say that I recommend it because I legally I can't even recommend anything, but I reluctantly am in it, and very strategically do I play with it in very, very, very minutia amounts of money. Where I believe a lot of the wealth is going to come from, for me, is playing the cryptocurrency markets because of what is happening with the demographics. I do have some worries, I'll be very honest, about some areas in real estate, not everything. I believe that some of the real estate is still quite well poised for growth and preservation, but you got to be really smart about it, and the price that you pay is going to be a key to success. So you really have to pay attention to the price that you pay, and that is why I'm so passionate about my Real Estate on the Cheap challenge, or Flip It Online Masterclass, where I really teach people how to get into real estate for pennies on a dollar. Because when you buy at 80% discount, market can tumble 80% and you're still okay. And I truly do sincerely believe, I don't know when it's going to come. It could be in 2020, although I doubt it because it's an election year. So typically election years tend to do well. But again, nobody planned for coronavirus to come out when it did. So it's uncertain to predict of what exactly is going to happen and transpire. So if you're going to go into real estate, please do pay attention in how much money you are paying for those properties. Do not overpay. Do not get caught up in a moment, spending an arm and a leg and, paying the full price. So that's one thing. Be careful about where you're investing as well. Location and type of property make a lot of sense as well to think through strategically and critically. And then finally, piece is, do have some money. I have some money in some of the more liquid assets, so equities could be part of that. Although if it tumbles, it's not going to be very liquid. Right now, when the market is going up, it's pretty liquid. It's pretty easy to get in and out. But when everybody wants to sell and there's no buyers, the prices just keep going down and there's nobody to buy it. So it becomes very illiquid. They can also shut down the market. They have done it before. They will do it again. which makes it highly illiquid for you. Bonds, have some ability to do okay, but I have some fears as well, because if hyperinflation does hit, and it will hit at some point in the future, but I think we'll hit a bit of a deflation first and then hyperinflation. It's going to get decimated during the hyperinflation period. So for me, I like to look at ways to stay out of the banking and out of financial industry, and that's why I am very bullish on cryptos. I am very bullish on precious metals, although to a small degree, don't bet the farm on it. It's really like an insurance and a small portion. I am bullish on real estate as well, depending on how you play it, and really looking at ways of being smart with the money and creating a portfolio in such a way that you really protect the downside no matter what happens, and you position yourself in the upside. Not that long ago, I've done a good 10-15 minute video where I talk about what is happening in cryptocurrencies and why it's well to poised. And I will tell you guys, when I did that video, Bitcoin itself was at about 7,000. It's well over 10,000 right now. So if you went in when the video went live, which was only, I don't even know if it was a month ago. I probably would have to take a look at it to tell you, but you can see it because I posted it. You would be up 3,000. So what is that? 3,000 over 7? That's like 40-some% up in a month. On annual basis, that's ridiculous returns. So please do start studying, start understanding, and start thinking differently than just your 401k, just your IRA, just 403b, just 529s, and just the Wall Street. I call Wall Street the Wall Street casino for a reason, because it really does feel like gambling. There's a lot of rigging that is happening that even I don't understand, and I would argue that I am a bit more astute than the average bear out there. But people end up putting money into it, hoping and praying that something will happen. And if things don't work out, then what? They got nothing left. So think a bit differently. When you separate yourself from the herd, you are poised to do much better. And so my message today is to start really looking at your portfolio of what you're holding, what you're doing, how you're doing with your money, and really thinking critically about how you're going to position yourself if a market goes up, but how you're going to position yourself if the market turns on a dime, which can happen and has happened and will happen again. Whether that's going to be today at 3 p.m. or 5 years from now, I don't know, and nobody knows that. And nobody can guarantee or promise that anything is going to happen, good, bad, or otherwise. What I can tell you with certainty is that things are always going to change and shift, and it is our job to protect our wealth. I hope this is helpful to you and inspiring for you to sit down, spend 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes of thinking critically about your money, about your wealth. And until next time, stay forever money blessed. And do remember, you are only one deal away.